Hi friends, and welcome to another session for our CSET preparation for paper 2. In today's session we'll talk about reading comprehensions. So agenda of this series on reading comprehension would be to understand what is reading comprehension, to further know what are the general challenges which are faced by an aspirant, and to further understand what is the correct way of approaching reading comprehensions. The agenda would be how to read effectively. Then we'll further talk about reading speed. I've talked to many of you and most of you are worried about your reading speed. So we'll talk about how important is reading speed in our CSAT paper. Then we'll talk about locating the central theme of the passage. Again, this becomes very important when we are performing a reading comprehension exercise. Then we'll talk about tones of the passage, and finally we'll take few examples and understand how to use options to answer reading comprehension questions. But as of now, in today's video, we'll discuss about what is reading comprehension, what are the general challenges faced by an aspirant, and how to approach reading. How to approach reading is very essential, because if you are not reading in a well-defined manner, you might end up being confused after reading the whole passage. So reading the passage effectively is very important, because that will define how you would tackle the questions. So we'll devote a good amount of time on how to approach reading section. So what is reading comprehension? As we all can see, reading comprehension consists of two words. One is reading, another is comprehension, right? Reading means, as we all know, that we have to read a passage. We are given a passage of around 200 to 300 words, which might have around 3 to 5 paragraphs. We have to read that passage. But is reading sufficient? No, it is not. We have to comprehend it as well. When we say we have to comprehend it, what do we mean? We mean we have to understand the subject of the passage. So a passage might be from politics or economics or environment or science or technology. So we have to understand the subject of the passage first. Secondly, each passage, when it is written or in a newspaper or in a magazine, is written for a particular purpose. An author has particular purpose in mind when he is writing the passage. So we have to decipher that particular purpose and understand what is the central idea which author is trying to convey through that passage. Then we have to understand the tone of the passage. By tone, I mean what is the intent of author. An author can write a passage in a sarcastic way, or he can write it in a way that he is giving his opinion to the readers, or he is emphasizing on particular thing. More about tone will deal in some other section, right? So tone we would discuss in detail in some later videos. And finally, we have to make summary of this passage. Once we comprehend the passage, we should be able to make a summary, a small 3 or 4 line summary of the entire passage. And finally, we have to infer from this passage. By inference, I mean we have to make a note of what we understand from this passage. So this is what I mean by comprehending a passage. Okay? We'll take a live example of how to go through a passage and how to decipher all these things one by one. Finally, let's talk about challenges faced. Even before we enter into a reading comprehension problem, I would like to talk about what are the common challenges which an aspirant thinks he faces. The first and the foremost problem or challenge is lack of reading habit. I'm sure most of you face this problem when you start preparing for your UPSC. But as and when you are in the middle of your preparation, this problem vanishes, because UPSC syllabus is so vast that we have to read, read and read. So reading habit has to be developed to crack UPSC. There is no other way. So I think most of you might not be facing this problem if you are a serious aspirant. The second problem which many of you think you face in the exam, because it's a 2-hour exam and there are 80 questions to do, is speed. So many of you are worried about your reading speed. At this point of time, I would say don't worry about your reading speed. We'll see how to tackle and how to increase the speed in later sections. The third problem which most of us think is lack of vocabulary. If you just look at past few CSAT papers, you would understand that the passages which appeared in those papers are not very tough. They are usually taken from various editorials of various newspapers or from various magazines, and they use very common vocabulary. The vocabulary is not very hi-fi, and at the end of the day you have to comprehend the entire passage. You don't have to find the meaning of a particular word. So vocabulary might not be a problem, but most of us are intimidated because we don't have very good vocabulary and we think that it would make us suffer in the final paper, which is not the case. The problem which is very genuine and which most of the aspirants face is skewed reading habits. So for example, if some of you has history as their optional, so their majority of the reading would be based on history. So they are not well versed with subjects like science. If a passage of science appears which use very technical words, they might get stuck in those passages. So to do away with this challenge, I would advise you to read as much diverse articles as possible. And finally, the most difficult challenge which most of us faced is inability to connect with passage. So we are in so much hurry in exam that we try to rush through the passage and we never make a connect with what the author is trying to say. When you are attempting 6 to 7 questions which are based on a particular passage, you have to go through the passage thoroughly. You have to understand and empathize with what author is trying to say and then attempt the questions. Otherwise, if you try to read the passage in rush and try to attempt those questions in further rush, you would end up getting negative marks, which is not a very good scenario to be in. So I would say you have to connect with the passage, connect with what author is saying, and perhaps to the extent that you can empathize with what author can say. Let's take a passage from the Hindu newspaper of 20th December 2014. The link is given here, so you can go through this complete passage in Hindu newspaper. I have taken the first 3 paragraphs of that article. So what we are trying to do here is building an approach to read a passage. I call this approach as predictive summary reading. So what we are trying to do is, as we read, we try to build in the summary as well as predict what the author is trying to say in further sentences. So without wasting any time, let's go to this passage. I have purposely omitted the title of the passage so that we can see that whether we can find out the passage or the central point by ourselves or not. So the first line here says, the recent tragedy of several women losing their lives in the state-sponsored tuberculotomy camp in Takhtpur, Chhattisgarh has caused severe damage to National Family Planning Program. What does this line tells us? This line tells us that the author might be interested in talking further about family planning and sterilization, or he might be interested in talking about the failure which has taken place recently because of lack of professionalism by which the family planning program was conducted in Chhattisgarh. So by this sentence we can decipher that. So the author might be planning to tell us effectiveness of such programs, or he might be planning to tell us about ill effects of such program, or how to improve these programs. So these can be the basic predictive ideas of what the author is trying to tell us through this whole passage. Let's go to second line and understand what further is he trying to say. This, however, is not an invalidation of importance of sterilization as an integral part of the program, but only a lurid example of bureaucratic and professional bungling and misconduct reminiscent of the forced sterilization of late 70. So here look at the keyword however. When in the first sentence he told us about the failure of this program, here by using however he is presenting a diverse view which is opposite to the first sentence, right? So he is presenting a contrasting view to the first sentence. After reading the first sentence, many of us might understand that family planning program as such is a failure. But here he is trying to build that family planning program is not a failure, and the above tragedy occurred due to some problems, right? So what are those problems? They were the bureaucratic and professional bungling, right? So these were the problems due to which the accident occurred. So as pointed in sentence 2, the problem is bureaucratic and professional bungling, and the third sentence builds on that only. So it says reports obtained by Union Health Ministry suggest that the deaths were caused by use of non-sterilized surgical equipment and spurious drugs. So this was clearly an example of professional failure. Again, to build up an example, he gives an example of Cheti Bai, a member of protected Baiga tribe, was one of the victims despite the state government having banned the sterilization of member of this tribe. This sentence tells us the bureaucratic failure. So till now he has pointed towards the ill effect of the family planning program. He has again reiterated that this does not mean that the family planning program as such is failure, but the failure happened due to professional and bureaucratic procedures. So till now, ill effects of sterilization drive, causes of these failures, and example of these failures has been captured in this paragraph. The fact is that tuberculotomies are not meant to be performed in camps but only in taluka or district hospitals or in private hospital with adequate precaution and infrastructure. Here he is again pointing out to the professional failure. Though the government has set rules for where these kind of surgeries can be performed, it states that the set parameters were not adhered to, due to which the failure occurred. So the sentence tells how the government has set the rules and how those were flaunted in our examples which were in the previous sentence. This again builds bureaucratic and professional failures. So till now what we have learnt is ill effects of sterilization drive, causes of these failures, example of these failures, and how these failures were caused. Finally, he says that investigation needs to be done to find out who was responsible for performing tuberculotomies in makeshift and dilapidated premises, right? So again this says that we have to further look into the matter and see why who caused these failures, what professionals were involved, and what bureaucratic structure was involved that caused these failures. So till now what we have learnt is ill effect of sterilization, causes of these failures, example of these failures, how failures were caused, and how failures can be curtailed to make family planning program a success, right? So to capture the entire paragraph 1, we can build in the summary like this. So family planning program has failed due to bureaucratic and professional negligence, and they need to be curtailed. Also, family planning program are important for India. So this can be stated as summary for paragraph 1. Now let's let's predict what can be stated in paragraph 2. So when we say predictive summary, we build in the summary and we predict that what further is author trying to say. So in second paragraph, he might talk about methods to curtail these failures, how to make family planning program a success in India, how important is family planning program in India, or he can give an anecdotal evidence of success of such programs. So let's see what the second paragraph says. So the first line of second paragraph says, let us discuss Kerala's example where the proportion of couples effective protection by family planning methods is the highest in India. So perhaps he is trying to give us an anecdotal evidence that family planning method is not a failed method, but implementation was failed in previous cases. So he's giving us an example of Kerala where the program is a huge success. So the second sentence of this paragraph says is, even in 1991, as per census data, 80% of couples in Kerala were using family planning method as against 43% in whole India. So he's building up his case by providing us statistics. So the statistics says that even in 1991, 80% of the couples in Kerala were using family planning program, whereas in India, only 43% were using that. The figure for the Kerala for general fertility rate, gross reproductive rate and total fertility rate are lowest in India. Again, he is trying to build certain statistical parameters to drive his point. And in the final sentence of this paragraph, he says, in Kerala, the majority of births occur with an interval of 36 months and above, which is second best in India, following Assam. The birth rate in the state is 40% below that of national average and among 60% below the rate of poor countries in general. Again, building the case of Kerala by bringing in more statistical data. So in this paragraph, the author wants to communicate that Kerala has been highly benefited from family planning program. By reading paragraph 1 and 2 together, we can understand that family planning program has caused harm in India due to bureaucratic and professional failure, as described in paragraph 1, but intentions of the program is good and Kerala is prime example of such intentions. Now next, what can author talk next? So he can build up how family planning program has failed, state the reasons for the failure, and also told us about the success of implementation of the same program in one another state. So till now author has done that. He might now talk about reasons for success in Kerala. He might compare conditions in two scenarios, which is Chhattisgarh and Kerala, or he might give suggestions of how to make the program successful in rest of the India. So let's go to the first line of third paragraph. It says the dramatic fall in birth rates and success in other demographic indicators in Kerala can be attributed to state's successful performance in area beyond family planning: literacy, women empowerment, access to health service, social welfare measures, the public distribution system, nutritional security, and poverty alleviation, amongst others. So here, what he is trying to say is that a family planning program can be successful only if certain factors are taken care of, and he is listing those factors. So as suspected, author is talking about reasons for success of family planning program in Kerala. Here he is taking discussion to another level by bringing in factors which determine the success of family planning program. Let's go to the next line. But superimposed on this was the state level intensive campaign in Ernakulam from 1970 to 1973, which emphasized on male sterilization. Look at the keyword. Here the author is extending his point of view of what makes the program successful. But look at the keyword but here. When the author is using but, he might bring contradiction to the previous stance, or he might provide additional and more crucial information. So, for example, we say we enjoyed the party because of the arrangements, but his presence was most crucial, right? So when we use but in this way, we are emphasizing that without his presence the party would not have been that much entertaining. So here when he is emphasizing but superimposed on this was state level intensive campaign, he is saying that without that intensive campaign the program might not be as successful as it is right now. Here the author is taking the second route. He is trying to say that all the factors stated above are important and good, but mindset change was essential, and without it, it would have been a failure. Let's go to the next sentence. This achieved dramatic results. In a month-long camp held in Ernakulam Town Hall, 64,000 vasectomies were performed safely in festive atmosphere. It is now clear that this campaign, which created a shift in the mindset all over Kerala in the favor of family planning, was majorly responsible for reversal of the decadal population growth rate of the state from ascending to descending in 1971. So these sentences show how mindset change has brought in success to family planning program in Kerala. Now if we read all these three paragraphs together and build in the summary, what does this say? The summary of these three paragraphs says family planning program has caused death due to bureaucratic and professional failure in many states, but it is crucial for India. It has succeeded in states like Kerala because of lots of factors, but majorly due to the mindset change of people to adopt these kind of programs. So this is the basic summary of all these three paragraphs. Further, the article might talk about how to improve the family planning program in rest of India, the policy changes which are required to make these programs successful, and he might also talk about roadblocks which one might face in implementing the family planning program throughout India. The rest of the article is given in Hindu of December 20. I would urge you to go through rest of the article, use this technique to build in the summary as well as predict what the author is trying to say, and see whether this technique works for you. If it works for you, I'm sure that you would be benefited in your general reading as well as in your reading comprehension question in final CSET exam. I hope that you enjoyed the video and you have gained an insight of how to approach reading in general and reading comprehension in particular for your CSET exam. Thank you for watching the video, and we'll discuss further about how to determine the central theme of the passage, the tone of the passage, and how to solve the problem of vocabulary and other stuff in later videos. Thanks as of now, and all the best for your preparations.